know that you're capable of doing this job as long as you put the work into it. If you can show up physically fit already to go into the academy, you've already started your career being successful, because you're gonna have a lot easier time getting through the academy by going into it in shape.
I don't know if you have or not. Has it been a struggle being a female? I mean, obviously you're a beast and you could take on any dude in the station, but
I don't totally believe in DEI when it comes to like the fire service side of things. So that, I mean, like I said, it could be a little controversial, but I definitely believe in like the capabilities of, you know, of your job and who you are as a person. It is very unique being a woman firefighter. Like, I love to inspire young women.
At Bella Media, we believe that every person has a unique story to tell.
As a creative marketing company, we get to meet some truly fascinating individuals.
They bring us their life experiences, challenges, and incredible stories.
So join us now as we dive into real human stories like this one.
Shantel, this show exists to really spotlight inspirational people, and I know this episode is going to be really good and you're going to inspire a lot of people. You've already inspired me this morning, so I haven't been to the gym in a long time, but this morning, because I knew I was interviewing, I said I'm going to get up and do a workout. So you got me up and you got me going.
That's awesome.
Because of your content, and I see how fit you are.
Yeah.
I was telling the guys, I was like, this woman could destroy every one of us here. So thanks for coming today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
So I have a proposal for you.
Okay.
So if this video gets like at least, what do you think is a good number, Lucas? 50 or more? 75. Okay. 75 more likes.
Okay.
I want to do another video with you where we take some of our crew and you just put us through hell and we work out with you.
Okay.
How's that sound?
Sounds good.
I think that would be fun.
I think I'll be seeing you guys soon.
I think it'd be fun. We've talked about joking, like doing a camera version of the Firefighter Challenge.
Yes, let's do it.
But we
If you
definitely
guys- yeah.
could afford to get a shape around here. And like I said, you've inspired me.
Oh,
I want to get
awesome.
back in the gym and start running again. I love running, and I haven't done it in a while.
Should, yeah.
But
It's so good for you to do, and it's a great like just release too, you know. So
I think so. I think I feel a difference versus when I am active when I'm not, as far as my workload and you, I mean, you have several jobs and several things going, and I'm sure your fitness has a lot to do with that.
Oh, for sure. I think the fitness is helps with my mental too. Like, it's definitely like something that I have to do every single day. Just because it just helps me, like, it's my release. It's my time away that I get to just like not think of anything and just do my workout, and it is like therapy, you know.
Your department needs top-notch recruitment and training videos, but you don't have the time to create them. At Bella Media, we've already helped fire departments like yours tell their story. Let us handle the videos so you can focus on saving lives. Email us at info@bellamedia.com to get started today. That's info@bellamedia.com.
What advice would you give to someone, a younger person that's interested in getting into the fire service? Like, what's that one thing you would tell them to do?
Definitely know that you're capable of doing this job as long as you put the work into it. Hard work pays off. So you have to put in that work. You can't slack at all. Definitely, I always say physical fitness, obviously, for especially younger generation going into an academy. If you can show up physically fit already to go into the academy, you've already started your career being successful, because you're gonna have a lot easier time getting through the academy by going into it in shape rather than going into it out of shape. So if you can go into it being in shape, at least you have that side of it. And then you learn you have your book work and stuff. And so now you can be like, okay, I can actually focus on this a little bit more rather than trying to struggle with both. And so that's what I kind of tell, these younger people going into it, is like, at least go in there like with that, and then going into it with a positive mindset. And every single day is not going to be a great day. You're gonna have those struggles. And so those days that you're struggling and like you're like, okay, I can't do this anymore, like those are the days that really count. Those are the days that put you ahead in life in general. So having that mindset of knowing that you're not gonna have every single day be a good day, just knowing that those are the days that actually matter because you can once you can do hard things, then you can do anything. You can do anything you set your mind to. So definitely grind and have a good head on your shoulders. So
Great advice.
yeah.
So tell me about your journey and how you got into fire service.
Basically, I was born and raised in a small town called Elko, Nevada. And if you've ever heard of Elko, Nevada, it's known for gold mining. And so it's a small town. And so if you were raised in Elko, you were basically destined to be a gold miner. And so that's kind of how I started. When I graduated high school, I started at the mine site and with a I got on with a temp agency at first to kind of get my foot in the door. I worked at an assay laboratory for about 6 months, and eventually the mine site hired me on full time. And I made my way into this thing called mine rescue. And so mine rescue was a surface and underground rescue team that provided EMS and fire services along with like rope rescue and confined space. It was kind of like a all-around rescue team that they had there. And so that kind of was what really like started my career in firefighting. My grandpa was a firefighter, so I always had this like inspiration to be a firefighter someday. I'm very active. I love adrenaline, and so I knew I wanted to do something that with that, but also have a purpose in life and to just kind of help others, help the community. So that's kind of how I started that. I got into that, I dove in. I started my EMT with the rescue team, and from there, I started getting into the rescue side of things. I really liked the EMS side. I liked being on the ambulance. Once I got my EMT, I got right into AEMT and started running some medical calls and worked on that while I started my rescue side of things, which was like confined space and rope rescue. And then I started to kind of dabble into the idea of maybe I want to get some fire certifications under me. And we had this opportunity to go and travel to Reno, Nevada, which was like this opportunity that you could go once in a while. They would send a few people, and I kind of had this like interest in going to see the fire side of stuff. So I got to go to Reno, Nevada one year and go and train with some firefighters from that side of the world, and they really inspired me. Right off the bat, I loved it. I was like, this is what I want to do. And
What inspired you?
I think it was like the adrenaline through it. The every single guy and girl that I met there was just extremely inspirational to me. So that was like I think the tipping point was one of the captains came up to me after it was like a week long, I believe, fire like academy that they had us go through. He was like, if you ever like are interested in becoming a firefighter, you should really like you should find that like I don't know, drive. And he's like, we really see it in you, like that you could be a really good firefighter someday. And I was like, really? And I got super excited. And so I really got interested in doing that. And so I went back home and was like, this is it. This is what I want to do.
How old were you at that
I
time?
think I was like 19, 20.
Wow.
Yeah, in my very young 20s, just starting getting into it. And so um, I got an opportunity that next summer to actually go to an academy in Golden, Colorado. And so I jumped on that. I was like, this is what I want to do. I'm going to follow after that. And so that's what I did that whole summer. And we had this amazing team that got to go out there and get all of our certifications and go and train with all of these firefighters from Colorado. And that's kind of where I ended up. And went back home to Nevada, continued my gold mine rescue journey, and that's when I was like, okay, I want to get on to a full-time department. And that was like I want to say 2019 when I started really like seeking after becoming like a full-time firefighter and getting into an actual department. And so I think it was 2019, I traveled to California to get this certification called a CPAT. It was like a physical like certification that you have to apply to places like on the West Coast, I think it's mainly. And I got that and started just applying to departments all over the place and testing for different departments. And the CPAT was like that. It was once you had your CPAT, you could test, but you had to still pass that civil service exam.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really hard to get your foot in the door back then. Like it was a lot of test taking. I wasn't having that much luck with Reno. I went and did a few ride-alongs with Reno Fire and didn't really have an opportunity to test other than just maybe one time. And so I kind of stopped for a while just to kind of regain, I don't know, like trying to, I don't know, like going back and training with my department a little bit more,
Mm-hmm.
my rescue crew and stuff. And I think I stopped applying for a little while there. And then I think 2020 was when COVID was big. And so COVID was what kind of really made me realize like this is like the time to kind of do it, and start applying. And so I remember looking online with my captain, and we had no idea what the future was going to look like. Everything was a big question mark, basically. And so I applied to a department here in Texas and never been to Texas. And I just decided to just fly here and apply for the Port of Houston department. And I ended up getting on, and that's kind of how my journey started here.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you
So.
flew here before you applied, or you applied and then came here?
Yeah, I applied and then they invited me out to test with them.
Okay.
And so I came down to test with the Port of Houston Fire Department, which was what really caught my eye was the fire boats. I went from, working at a gold mine and dirt and, underground and surface and to like the water side of things. And so that's kind of what sparked my interest. I was like, well, this is different and cool. And so I never worked on a fireboat, so I was like, okay, let's do it. And so I applied, and I ended up getting or flying down here testing for them, and then maybe a month later got the phone call, "You ready to move to Texas?" And my chief had me move down here within 2 weeks. I packed my car, came down here, and started my journey here. So,
That's awesome.
yeah,
And that was in 2020, is that what you said?
yeah, that was 2020.
Wow. So
So.
the world was going through a lot and you were
Yeah.
like totally changing your life.
Yeah, basically.
What was that? What was that like?
It was very scary. I mean, it was probably the most. I remember packing my car, and my husband was still in Nevada. He had to sell our house and stuff, and so he was staying back where I was getting ready. I had to come down here and move down here. It was it was very scary. I think on my way here, moving across the country, I was like, "Am I having a mental breakdown here?" And and I'm so glad that I did though, because it was the best decision that I ever did. And I had such an amazing support system, doing that. And so that was it was very scary. And I think there was like 4 or 5 times that I called him like, okay, I'm going home. Like, I can't do this. Just
Really?
scary. It was so scary to be here. I didn't know anyone.
Mm.
And so it was scary, but like also just I learned so much about myself and my capabilities of doing things and just going for them, just doing hard things.
How long were you here before your husband moved?
I think it was like 6 months. Yeah,
Wow.
it was about
That's
six
a long
months.
time.
Yeah,
Is
it
he in the
was.
fire service too?
No, he's actually an electrician.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So he was very supportive. He was like, I can be an electrician wherever if you get a job, and he knew that was my dream. So he was like, I'll fully support you wherever you want to go. So
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah.
That helps to have someone that
Oh
supports you.
yeah.
What were some of the first things when you got here? What was like something that really you remember that really challenged you?
The temperature. The temperature was really hard for me. I went from a dry heat to humidity, so trying to get acclimated to that in the middle of summer was definitely challenging. I went from, I'm from very high elevation,
Mm-hmm.
to where training was a lot easier there than down in humidity and like, okay, all of a sudden my lungs are burning and just trying to get acclimated to the temperature in your fire gear and stuff. And so that was definitely a challenge, but it made me better because it made me work a little bit harder. I remember going through like we had to get our Marine Fire Academy and get our certifications. So it was like I want to say 3 or 4 weeks of going through that. And I remember every day that we were done in our like class, I would go home and go to CrossFit and like just like ride the bike as hard as I could and like just try to get acclimated to the temperatures here fast. That way I wasn't, falling behind in anything. And so that was probably my biggest struggle here
Mm-hmm.
at first. So yeah.
You said you didn't know anyone here. What started you like to where you could build your community? Was it the gym, CrossFit,
Yeah.
or your
Yeah.
fellow firefighters at the station?
Yeah, it was definitely the CrossFit gym. I actually moved to Katy, Texas. And I did know one person here that moved here a really long time ago, and they told me about Katy, and so that's kind of where I ended up. I heard Katy was a good area to move to, and so that was the area we decided to move. And when I literally I think it was like the first or second day that I got there, I said, okay, I have to find my community, and I'm gonna find it through a CrossFit gym. And so I tried out a few different CrossFit gyms and then walked into the CrossFit gym that I am now and immediately just fell in love with the gym, the people, everyone. And so that was they're my family now, they're the ones that kind of got me through like those hard times at first of
Mm-hmm.
trying to get accustomed to living here. And not only that, it was definitely the fire department too. I tell all of those guys that they're my family,
That's awesome.
they if I had car troubles, they would be right there, just anything. Just moving here, they knew that it was scary. They would tell me like the parts of not to go and the parts to go and just kind of taught me the ropes here and I'm thankful for that. So,
Yeah, I feel like the fire service in general is great about community,
oh, for sure.
building community and supporting each other.
Yeah.
I can't imagine doing life without community.
Yeah.
And the fact that you came here first and that was the first thought that you had, I think it's pretty smart.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And so once you started, your specialty is rescue.
Yes.
What were some of the big things that you worked on now that you're on a boat?
Yeah. So totally different life here. Now I'm working on water. So I had to get certified in marine firefighting, so fighting fire on ships and or just vessels in general, and being on water rather than land. And so that was different at first. I also am on an engine, which is the land base too. So I work on an engine and also a fireboat. So, kind of, I always say it's like the best of both worlds. I get to do both, and it's a blast, and I've had a lot of fun doing that.
So do you remember your first fire where you went interior?
Yeah, so that's kind of how I started with East Tex too. Was I wanted to get a part-time that taught me the residential side of things
Mhm.
too. And so I got my foot in the door at East Tex. Thankfully, I have learned so much with them. They have taught me so much residential side of firefighting, and they all knew that I was very new into it and knew that I needed some, training and stuff. And so they kind of like took me in and really taught me that. And um, yeah, I definitely remember like going into a house fire the first time. I was so nervous, but I like trusted everyone that I was with
Mhm.
and I was very confident going in and I knew what I needed to do. I stayed close to my captain, and just kind of tried to follow his footsteps and like where to go and what to do. And so definitely relied a lot on my training on my first fire and stuff. So yeah, that
That's
was fun.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I volunteered. I told you that.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the first time going in.
Yeah.
It's like seeing fire over your head and you're just like blown away.
Yeah.
It's
You're like,
amazing.
whoa.
Yeah, I explain it like, remember the scene in Talladega Nights when Ricky
Yeah.
Bobby's flipping the car and it's slow motion? It
Yeah.
feels like time kind of slows down a
It
little bit.
does. Yeah.
It's really weird.
Yeah. There's
But
definitely an art to it, you know.
yeah,
Fire's beautiful.
it is. I'm gonna sound like my grandpa, but back in the day,
Yeah.
there wasn't a lot of females in the fire service.
Yeah.
Talk about today, and if you've had any, I don't know if you have or not. Has it been a struggle being a female? I mean, obviously you're a beast and you could take on any dude in the station, but
Yeah, I think that there's like 9% now. I could be wrong on that number, but I think there's like 9% of women who are firefighters.
hmm
So it's definitely unique, but it's something that really doesn't define who I am in the fire service. Um, could be a little bit controversial topic of I don't totally believe in DEI when it comes to like the fire service side of things. And so that, I mean, like I said, it could be a little controversial, but I definitely believe in like the capabilities of you know, of your job and who you are as a person. I tell a lot of people this getting into it. It is very unique being a woman firefighter. Like, I love to inspire young women
hmm
who are getting into this. I recently went and got to help teach at a women's fire camp, and I got to teach the young girls like it's not about you being a female, it's about your mental strength, your physical strength,
hmm
your emotional state. It takes a lot of skill and situational awareness to be a firefighter. And so being a woman, it is very cool because there is a small percentage, and I know so many amazing women in the fire service who are just beasts, you know,
hmm
like they could just, I mean, some stronger than most men out there. And so it's very inspirational. And I have not had any instances where it has been like a struggle because I believe in the one standard, you know, I believe in, you know, we're not here to do, you know, women push-ups or you know, like you know, I can't do something, so I'll have somebody else do it. It's like, no, if I can't do something, I'm going to learn how to do it. And I'm going to, you know, make sure that I'm physically capable of this job as well as like trying to be the most skilled too. And so I pride myself in, you know, keeping that one standard, and I believe that across the board for everyone. And so it's been fun. And, you know, everyone that I work with knows how into it I am. You know, it's not about being a woman, it's about
right.
being a very skilled individual and being physically and emotionally um, good for this job. So, yeah.
And you could either do the job or you can't,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So,
So,
but you've obviously put in the work and a lot of time and training
yeah,
to get there. It's probably why you haven't had much pushback on it,
yeah,
because you have put in the time and
yeah,
put in the work, and
yeah,
it's obvious you're capable.
for
So
sure. Yeah.
that's really cool. Tell me about the Firefighter Challenge League. How did you get into that?
So I got into it last year, 2023. So my fire chief mentioned back in 22 that he wanted to send a couple people to FDIC. It's in Indianapolis.
Is this from the port or East
Yeah,
Texas?
from the port.
Okay.
He wanted to send a couple people to this challenge to kind of represent our department and get into that. And me coming from a very competitive CrossFit background and just being competitive all around, I was like super interested in doing this. I've seen a lot of things on it. I actually got to do the Harris County Firefighter Challenge, I think the year prior to that
hmm
with East Tex. And I had so much fun doing that. And so I was like, oh, maybe the Firefighter Challenge would be kind of fun, and I can incorporate that with like my CrossFit training and stuff. So he hosted like this small in-house competition for our department, and the top two people got to go and represent our department at FDIC. And so he hosted that, and my partner and I, Gordon Penland, we got to go to FDIC. We had the top 2 times in our department.
Wow.
So they got to send us. And we had no idea what it was like going into it. We trained for, so we had like 6 months, I want to say,
Wow.
of like prep work basically, of getting into it. We would watch like YouTube videos and like try to find stuff on Instagram and Facebook and stuff of like
Hmm.
how to train for this challenge. And we had no idea. Like, it was really hard to find any like sort of like content on it. Like, there wasn't a lot of footage yet of the firefighter challenge. It's very up and coming.
Hmm.
Not a whole lot of people know about it yet, but it's developed a lot in 2023. So we would train and like we would just like go for runs and like throw a pack on in our gear and just train so hard. I always tell people like it's made me become a way better firefighter just because
Wow.
of the amount of like training that we do and by putting our gear on and just like going to town on like the Kaiser, like the dummy drag. And
Hmm.
so that was really fun training for that. And so when we got to FDIC, we we only signed up for one like course run because we weren't sure like what it was all about. And so we both decided to do individual. So we both did our individual runs and kind of started to get to know people there. We met some Austin firefighters here in, Texas, and they kind of like took us under their wing, was like, "Hey, we're going to show you guys the rope, show you how to do this challenge. You guys are going to be really great at this." And
Wow.
like very inspiring because the guy that actually like really took us in was Jared Johnson, which is actually the current world record holder for it.
Wow.
So he was like very inspirational to both Gordon and I. And we kind of trained with them a little bit and they taught us a lot of stuff. And so that's kind of that was our first little experience with that. And we came back here to Houston, like so excited. Like that was so much fun. We were telling everyone in our department, like, you got to join. Like, this is so fun. And we would like try to get our crews to like train with us and stuff and kind of like built that camaraderie. And so we asked our fire chief if we could do nationals, and our chief was like, "Yeah, you guys did great at FDIC. We'll take you to nationals." And so thankfully we got to go there,
Where was
and
that at?
that was in Hoover, Alabama.
Okay.
So that was cool, and it was a place like I've never been there, so it was a beautiful city. Um,
Was it similar air like us?
yeah, it
Humidity?
kind of was, yeah, a
That
little less humidity, but
that helped you a little
yeah,
bit, huh?
yeah.
So how'd you do?
We did a really good there. That was like, I think that was the point of like, okay, I really love this sport. Like, because it is a sport, and it was like where we really started meeting people. I remember Gordon and I walking up to the challenge, like, oh, I hope we can meet people so we can do like a relay in like tandems with other people. And I really wanted to meet other females so we could do like a female team and kind of be competitive in this sport. And so I remember walking up, and there was this girl named Taylor Ward. And if you follow me on social media, you probably see all of Taylor Ward and I. And that was like her and I just kind of met. Like, we were both brand new. She just got Rookie of the Year for the Firefighter Challenge in Murray, Utah, competing there. And we had like this same similar tattoo. And she was like, "Oh, hey, we have this same tattoo." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And we started kind of talking, and our friendship kind of built. And she was like, "Do you want to run together?" I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." Like, I don't have anyone else. She didn't have anyone else. And we were just both new at this.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're like, let's just go out there and have fun. And so we did, and we ended up breaking a national record
Wow.
first time running together. And we were like, whoa, well, that's cool. And didn't really realize how big that was, but that was like the start of us like, wait, we actually are pretty good at this. So let's continue.
So what are the stations that they do? I know they do the
Yeah.
Kaiser stairs. What walk us through
Yeah.
that specific one?
Okay, so it's a stair climb. It's 5 floors of stair climbing with a 45-pound pack on your shoulder.
Wow.
Yeah, the stairs are the worst part. And you throw the pack. Once you get to the top, you throw it in this basket, and you hoist another 45-pound pack to the top. Put that in the bucket, and then you run down the stairs. And from the stairs, you go to a Kaiser sled. You hit your Kaiser, and then you go through a slalom, and you run that. you pick up I don't remember how much the hose weighs, but you run with this hose, you hit a target through these doors, and then you finish with the dummy drag, which the dummy is 165, and then that's the end of that course.
So y'all were doing a relay together, or
Yeah, so her and I do the tandem, and so it's split in half.
okay.
So one person does like the front half, and then the second person does the back half. And so you have like this baton, and you like pass it to each other. And there's a bunch of different like little penalties you can get.
Mm.
Um, and so that's the tandem. And then there's a relay. Like, so if you have a relay team, you can have up to 5 people. So like each person has one part of that course. And if you're doing an individual, you just run the whole course through on air, which is literally one of the hardest things ever. It's so hard to do that course on air by yourself, but
Which means
it's
you're
so
plugged
fun.
in with the
Yeah.
SCBA and all
Yeah.
that. Wow.
Yeah. So
How and you do it through with one bottle?
yeah.
Wow.
So that was hard, training for that, and it still is. We train all the time at the station how to like consume air and stuff the best we can, and it's definitely helped that I do CrossFit because it's taught me how to breathe properly
Mm.
and being connected to air. And so it's a small bottle too on top of that. And so you can't just like breathe as hard as you possibly can
Wow.
because you will run out of the air and then, you're kind of disqualified from the course.
Yeah, it's one thing to do those competitions in just shorts and a t-shirt and then
Yeah.
adding all the other extra stuff and
Yeah.
then putting that on where you're
Yeah.
not breathing normal.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I will say, like, when I first watched it, I was like, oh, I can do that. Like, it's no problem. And then I did that, and I remember, like, I finished it and I laid on the mat and I was like, oh my gosh, what did I just do? Like, this is one of the hardest things because the breathing, like you take a deep breath and you're not getting a full breath, or your lungs aren't fully expanding with that breath. So it's definitely a a challenge of learning how to do all of that.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And do you remember your timing? Yes, you said you broke
Yeah.
a record. Do you remember the
Yeah.
timing?
So I don't remember Taylor and I's time then, in Hoover. Right now, individually, I'm running in the 2:30s. I'm trying to be in the top this year for in the world. So hopefully,
That's 2 minutes and 30 seconds?
yeah, for the full
Oh
full
my God.
course. Yeah, it's so fast.
That's fast.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's cool. It's fun.
Do you have like a specialty like when y'all are doing the relay, do you and is it Taylor, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you pick which one
Yeah.
you want?
Yeah, so Taylor is like so strong upper body. Like we always joke like she's built like a linebacker. Like she's a big girl. Like she can carry some stuff and hoist and stuff. So she's our front half and she's so good at it. And then I do the back half. Like the dummy drag is my favorite thing. I'm really fast on that back half. So we just make a really good team because she's good front half and then I'm good on the back half. And so we've been able to make a really awesome team doing that. And now we meet up and we compete and it's been so fun. So our goal this year is in Nashville in October is Worlds. And so hopefully and we're training and we're hoping to break the world record there in Nashville. So that's our goal and that's been really exciting. So we have a couple things coming. I'm training also with Jared Johnson, and we want to break that world record with him and I too. So we're shooting for some pretty big goals this year, but it's been so much fun to train for, honestly. So
And y'all all live in different places.
yeah, we all live in different places, and you just meet up and you meet like the most incredible people from all over the world. Like there's so many girls that I've gotten to meet like last year at Worlds, like flying from Europe and
Wow.
where was the other place that was really unique? It was, I want to say it was like Iceland. There was a couple people from Iceland and stuff. So
That's so
yeah,
cool. So you're not just meeting US firefighters, you're
yeah,
usually meeting world.
yeah,
That's cool.
yeah,
I didn't know it was a world. So I just learned about it too, just from researching with,
yeah,
meeting you. And then of course we filmed the Harris County one, which is a little different from what you're describing
yeah,
because you're not on air there. But yeah, I'm interested to see more about the sport and learn more about the league. And
Yeah, it's definitely up and coming. There was so many people last year that were brand new at it. And this year, there's a lot of new people too. And so it's really fun to kind of take those new people in and be like, "Oh, like we're still new too, but like this is what's helped us." And then they go back and they go train for that and you get to follow them on social media and connect with them. And I always tell everyone like it's so good at like with connecting with people from all over the place and
Mhm.
you can really teach each other different things and it's just been a blast to like connect with people.
Man, you have some amazing
Yeah,
content on your
thank you.
Instagram,
Thank you.
and I was really impressed. I mean, that's what we do is build content for people and
Yeah.
organizations. Tell me about your audience building with Instagram.
I think it started, I've been trying to really focus my audience with CrossFit and firefighting. I really noticed that the firefighting has really helped my social media grow. I get a lot of young women that want to become firefighters, and then they find my page and they reach out to me of like, hey, how do I apply to go to academy, or what's academy like, or what's being a firefighter like, even. And so I've gotten to connect with a lot of different young people and not even just women. There's a lot of young men too that'll be like, "Oh, I'm really interested in becoming a firefighter." And so I think my content is just I'm really trying to focus it on trying to inspire like the younger generation and um, to hold that one standard that I highly believe in. And so I try to connect with them on that kind of level. And then, my competitive CrossFit, I just I'm super into CrossFit competitions, and so
Mhm.
that's definitely one thing too.
When did you start to take the social media stuff serious and putting regular content out?
I want to say maybe last year
Wow.
sometime. Yeah.
And has it improved your life, hindered your life?
Oh, improved it. I mean, like I get to talk to you today because of it, probably like definitely like gotten to meet some really amazing people and brands too. Like there's a lot of amazing brands out there that I've gotten to work with and I've met a lot of really good friends through social media and content. So
That's interesting. Tell me about some of the brands you've gotten to work with.
yeah, so one of them is recently I work with 1011. It's this clothing company that my friend actually owns. And so I've gotten to help her um, help build up her brand and stuff. She sells a lot of athletic clothing and yeah, I've gotten to work with them. I work with a company called 48 Straight, which is actually a local supplement company
Hmm.
that is firefighter owned. And I met them back in 2020. So I've kind of been with them throughout the years and they've helped me grow. I've helped them grow. And so it's been really cool to watch each other grow because it really has been like a growth thing to watch each other. So they sell like BCAs and greens, pre-workout, all of that to firefighters and local businesses and stuff. So I help with that. Yeah, just a couple companies like that. There's a company called Dash Hydrate that is actually owned by Dakota Myers. And if you don't know who Dakota Myers is, you guys have to look him up. He's an amazing, amazing Marine who actually won the Medal of Honor. Not even won it. He received the Medal of Honor through Barack Obama's presidency.
Wow.
He saved a lot of people overseas, and so he's very inspirational. I met him through the Firefighter Challenge, and him and I's friendship have grown. He lives in Irving, Texas, so I've gotten to work with his brand, and that's now up and coming and stuff, and it's really cool to see. Um,
What kind of product does he have?
it's called Dash Hydrate. It's a hydration stick that he sells, so it has
Okay.
like salts and stuff like that to like replenish your electrolytes and stuff.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I saw something the other day that you posted. Is there a juice company or something that you're working with?
Um,
or fresh fruits or something.
Oh yeah, that's I'm starting like a small business on the side.
Tell me about that.
So yeah, so it's called Venture Snacks. I freeze dry fruit and stuff.
Okay.
So that's kind of fun and exciting. I'm starting to sell to like local farmers markets and stuff.
All right.
Yeah. So
Well, sign me up. I want
yeah.
some.
Yeah, it's
That sounds
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like little snacks like like the ice cream that you've heard of, like it's like freeze-dried ice cream and stuff. It
Hmm.
became really big a couple years ago. So I got this freeze dryer and I started like selling freeze-dried fruits and stuff, and I'll bring it to the station for the guys to like snack on and stuff, and it's been cool.
Yeah, it looked
Yeah.
cool. It caught my
Yeah.
eye. I'm definitely interested in it.
Yeah, for
And then
sure.
I saw you were connected too with another farmers market, another firefighter that does like peaches or something.
Oh yeah, that's actually how this is very recent actually.
Yeah.
This was just a couple of weeks ago. I He came to our gym, just like set up a stand outside of it and was selling peaches. And so I started buying these peaches from him, and I showed up to his stand one day and he was like, "Man, you get a lot of peaches." And I was like, "I've actually been freeze drying them." And he's like, "Oh, I didn't know that." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's like my little side business." He was like, "Oh, what do you do?" I'm like, "I'm a firefighter." And he was like, "I'm a firefighter too." And
Oh
so
wow.
he's a firefighter through Houston. And so, yeah, that's who I've actually been. We kind of are starting to collaborate with our businesses. So his business is called Peach Creek Country Market.
I know he was
Yeah.
advertising a snow cone too that I was like I
Yeah.
looked it up, it's like an hour and a half from me. I was like, I'm tempted to drive out there just for a snow cone.
Literally the best peaches. And yeah, the snow cones are so good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm interested in your new company. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
where are you where's it at right now? Are you
Just starting to grow it, just
Yeah.
starting to try to grow my social media platform with that a little bit and just kind of see the interest that's even out there. So I'm working on labeling and got my LLC for it, and so hopefully we can
Are
help
you at
grow that.
pop-ups to like different markets
I
yet?
haven't
Not
started
yet?
that yet.
Okay.
No,
So
no.
it's very infant stages.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, that's
So we'll see.
exciting.
Yeah,
Hopefully people
yeah,
can see the beginning
yeah,
of
for
this and then
sure.
it goes somewhere big.
Yeah, that's
I'm
awesome.
definitely interested. I want to try it
Yeah,
for sure. It
yeah, for
sounds like a good alternative snack,
sure. Yeah.
so many sweets
Oh
and
yeah, it really is.
tell me about your diet and how you stay fit.
Yeah, so my diet is fairly healthy. I definitely love the sugar. The guys at the station, if they're watching this, they will definitely say that I love sugar. But yeah, so I try to stay super healthy. I like to cook at the station,
Hmm.
so I'll always cook healthy meals. It's important for me to fuel my body because I am super competitive. So my diet is I try to eat whole foods. I don't weigh my food. Being a firefighter, it is hard to weigh your foods and eat your food at the station and stuff. I would rather cook with the guys at the station and
Hmm.
eat a fresh meal rather than, weighing all of my food. So definitely just try to stick to whole foods and just eating as much protein really as I can and eating some carbs throughout the day. So try to stay healthy, but I definitely have some balance in life and enjoy having sugar.
Well,
So,
it's difficult, especially in Texas with all this
oh yeah,
amazing food that we have.
yeah, really it does.
I did want to talk a little bit about East Tex and their training. I mean, that's how we met. Is
Yeah,
we do a lot of training videos with East Tex, and they spoke very highly of you. And that's
yeah.
that's how we met. What's it like working at East Tex?
East Texas is so much fun. I have met so many amazing people. I work with all kinds of different shifts because I am a part-timer. So I move to all the different stations, all the crews, all the time. I get scheduled and then, you work on a shift and you might not see them for another month, but like when you show up and see them again, it's like, "Oh, hey, what's up? How's it going?" And it's just a very tight-knit group of people who are just very every single person there like is an amazing firefighter. So I really love working with them. They've taught me so much throughout my career there. Their training side of things is probably some of the best out there. Like they have such a great training department. They send people all over the place all the time to get the best of the best training. Whether last year I had the opportunity to go through Swiftwater training through East Tex, and they sent me there for through Teaks to New Braunfels to train with them doing swiftwater rescue, and got my certification, which was amazing. So they have so many opportunities to like have um, training opportunities all over the place. So that's been really fun.
And I heard you won Firefighter of the Year.
Oh yeah, yeah. Last
Uh,
year I got Rookie of the Year
That's
or
awesome.
Firefighter of the Year. Yeah,
How did that feel?
that was awesome for sure.
Were you surprised, or you kind of knew that was coming?
Yeah, I was surprised. I think that you know, it's been a lot of like growth there. I've
Hmm.
came in not knowing a whole lot of like the structural side of things, and I've learned so much, and I think that they've seen that growth and stuff. So that was awesome to be awarded that, and I love this department. I love it. So um,
Are you so you're not assigned to a certain truck or ladder or anything?
no, yeah,
Different.
the part-timers shift around all over the place,
So
which
that's
is cool,
Yeah, that is cool. So you
Yeah,
get to experience all the different
yeah,
apparatuses.
yeah.
And they don't have a rescue truck, do they yet?
No.
Tell me about all the certifications that you've been able to get over the years.
Yeah, so tons of different certifications throughout the years. I mean, I started at the gold mine, so I started getting my rope rescue, confined space. You have when you start your career in fire, you have all of your fire certs and stuff. But I worked on getting all of my NIMS, my
Mm,
100, 200, 300,
yeah.
400. Got all of those. Got to get into like my swift water rescue, like I was just talking about. Um, I'm trying to think all of them.
That's
Um,
okay. We don't have to go
yeah,
into all of them,
yeah.
but
There's a
obviously
lot.
you've
Yeah,
been through a lot,
yeah.
and East Tech's been able to help you kind of get
Oh
some of
yeah,
those.
yeah. Which is awesome. Like, to work as a part-timer, to be able to go to these classes and trainings and stuff is a huge benefit for us because it helps our education side of things, and going to these trainings helps, further our career, and they see that, and it's amazing to have them send us to, you know, different trainings and stuff. Not every department out there lets their part-timers go to different trainings, so this is a huge benefit that they have for us part-timers, and it shows that they really care about us, and I really I'm appreciative of
Well,
that
they're a
for
great
sure.
department. We love working with them, of
Yeah,
course, and they've
yeah.
been really good to us. And
Yes.
it's been great to watch them grow.
Yeah, that's
Seen a lot
awesome.
of growth.
Yeah,
It's
I've
been
seen some of the videos that you guys did for them too, and those are amazing.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thank you very much. Well, thank you again for coming
yeah.
out today. We really
Thank you.
appreciate it. And we look forward to getting tortured by you when we work out soon.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm excited.
We'll do our own version of the Firefighter Challenge.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Let's do it.
Awesome. Thanks, Chantel.
Thank you so much.
Your department needs top-notch recruitment and training videos, but you don't have the time to create them. At Bella Media, we've already helped fire departments like yours tell their story. Let us handle the videos so you can focus on saving lives. Email us at info@bellamedia.com to get started today. That's info@bellamedia.com.